Hello there, good to see you again. My name's Win and I make videos on how to style and help manage curly hair. It's been a while, but I'm very excited to bring you guys this video on how to style very long hair. It's probably been about 3 to 4 years now since I started growing my hair, and a couple things have changed. I'm actually very excited to be bringing you this video in coordination with Innersense Organic Beauty. It's one of my favorite hair products. I actually discovered it when I went to have my hair fixed from a bad haircut, and they use these Innersense products and I've been hooked since. So yeah, really excited to tell you about it. I will be taking you through the whole routine in the shower with wash and conditioning, and then we'll be coming back here to do the styling routine. So before we move any further, I'll show you kind of where my hair's at now and show you kind of, if it looks like this, how you can get to a better version of itself. So these days it's about this long, almost like nipple length when you pull it down. Kind of can see from the side. And the bangs, it's slightly layered. You can see they come pretty long. So a lot of people ask how to get their hair cut. Just do a slight layer. I can do another video on that in the future. But yeah, so if you'd like to see how to go from this to this, keep on watching. So the first product we're going to use today is the Innersense Organic Beauty Pure Harmony Hair Bath. I use about a quarter size amount in my front roots, my back roots, and then my ends, just to kind of get everything clean. This product uses coconut and rice bran, pumpkin seed oil, and green tea, which is high in antioxidants, and it has healing properties, all that kind of good anti-aging kind of stuff. And it's just really, really healthy for your hair. You'll notice that this product doesn't do a very high lather. It's not going to strip out the oils in your hair. It's very healthy, and it's just kind of a light wash that'll keep you clean and looking real nice. The next product we're going to use today is the Innersense Organic Beauty Color Radiance Daily Conditioner. I believe this is probably used for colored hair typically, but I just love the smell. I love the consistency. I use about a 3 pumps amount for my ends and mids, and about like 1 to 2 pumps for my roots. One thing I want to say about these products is they're very concentrated, so a little bit goes a long way. And you'll notice that I'm not using like handfuls of conditioner. So the last step of this is just to wash everything out very well, crunch the hair up, get this sort of noodly texture, and you'll notice my hair here is literally dripping wet. So now that we're sufficiently dripping wet, which is okay because that's how you want to be when you get to the styling part, let's talk about our stylers. So today we're going to be using the Innersense Organic Beauty I Create Hold. This has actually become one of my holy grail products. I use it to refresh, I use it to tame flyaways, and of course to style with. Innersense really prides themselves in using organic products that really make a difference. So this particular product uses honey, aloe, and rooibos tea to create the effect that you'll see later. And I just love it. I really honestly can't say more about it, and you'll see why. So let's get to it. So for this styling process, you're going to want to section your hair in 3 ways. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll notice that it's pretty similar. So I'm going to start kind of here where my hair sort of has this little dip, and go straight back and pull that up. So we're trying to create kind of a clean line because you can use this later in other hairstyles as kind of a nice break point. Do the same here. Pull that up. And then I'm just going to twist it up like this. And then do another twist and it'll hold itself down. do the same for the rest of the hair. Pull that out, get kind of caught by the towel. So this one I'm going to go about eyebrow level and go straight back, grabbing all the hair, and pull it back. And we're going to do the same kind of sectioning. Let's see, here's a twist, twist, twist. And this. And then we're going to clip it back. And then the last bit, I'm actually just going to leave out. Okay, so this styling process is pretty straightforward. Basically, you're going to be taking small sections, getting them very wet. This product works the best with almost dripping wet hair, and you can see my hair is already dripping wet, and I'm going to be adding even more water. Putting the gel on, and then using a Denman brush to brush through, and it creates kind of like a curl, almost like a ribbon. And then once we do that to all the sections, we'll squish everything together, take a little bit of the product out, and then diffuse our hair to dry. So this bottom section, I'm actually going to split it into two like this, just down the middle. And I'm going to start from the back and go forward. So to begin, I'm just going to take a little section about this big, and I like to hold this kind of with my mouth, but I'm going to avoid that so you can hear what I'm doing. And then I will spray this down to get a little bit more water. And then I take one pump. So here we go, one pump. And there's still a little bit of water in my hand. And so you can see I emulsify it in my hands like this. And then that section, I kind of just brush it all through. And you can see like how, like you can feel when you get used to it, like how much water it needs. Like this actually needs more water, believe it or not. So I'm gonna do that. And the ends kind of sometimes will need more. And once it's sufficiently coated in there, I'll take a Denman brush, just as you'll see me do, and brush through. All right, so you can see how it's starting to curl at the bottom. Especially with this hair length, I really like to kind of encourage that curl, otherwise it can be a little bit flat at the root. So there's a couple ways you can do this. I'll show you a few. This is the first one. You can just kind of shake it like this from the top, and you'll see how they kind of start to form a little bit better. And then we'll flip that to the back. Now for this next section, we're gonna do the same thing. So split it like this into two, about this much of a section. And excuse me while I go mute for a moment, but you will be able to watch along. With a little bit of water left in your hand, take about one pump again of the gel, this much, emulsify that in your hands. See, here's how it looks. And brush that through. I feel like a good analogy for how you want this to look is a bit like, almost like wet noodles. It's very interesting how the water and the gel work together to really smooth down the hair and create shine. So you can see. So the other way that I will encourage the curl is just kind of grab them like this, squish them, and I'll kind of like shake them out as I go down, like this. And you can see this is how you want it to look on each section. So let's do this one real quick, is the last section. again, about a quarter size amount of the gel, and rake it through. Now, yeah, this may look like a lot of product, but keep in mind we're not doing a cream or any other product. So this is the only thing that is holding our hair together. And you want a lot of product to get a defined result that lasts for a few days. To me, that's worth it. So you kind of like run along the rib side here, flick it at the end, and then encourage the curl to form. So you can see this side that is done, how that looks, that's how you want it to look. And this side that's not done, this is kind of how it should look before you start. So I'm going to go and do the rest of my hair in time lapse. And then once we get to the top section, I'll show you how I do it a little bit differently. Secret tip for anyone with a mustache. I've been wetting the edges of mine and using a little bit of this gel to help set it in like a little curled position, and then going back later when it dries and using a mustache wax to get a really defined curl that doesn't change. Anyways, we've gone through most of the hair. So you can see, let me pull it back. You can see how that's looking. The curls are starting to define nicely. And then we have to do this top section. So it's pretty normal for most people to have a different texture of hair on the top of their head. Mine's a little bit more coarse, and so I have to put a little bit more effort into this to get it to curl right. And usually that just translates to a little bit more water and a little bit more care when sort of cupping the curl after you style it. So we're gonna take this out under here. Over the process of this, I see this has gotten a little bit frizzy, so I'm gonna take a little water just here. Water is your best friend here. Smooth it back. If you see any frizz before you dry it, it's gonna look way worse when you dry it, so try to get rid of that now. All right, so we're gonna redo this section. I'm gonna take a small section across the back here. Make sure here especially to not take sections that are too big. I twist it up like this so I don't lose it. And then this one's just gonna get twisted up again until we need it again. All right, so we grab this one. And just like all the rest, I'm gonna straighten it out a little bit so we can get to it. Water. A little bit more probably than you did the rest of the place, but try not to let it like sit on the scalp of your head, because that will be counterproductive later. You can see how much water I'm using. All right, let that soak in. Gel, emulsify, and then run it through. Probably flinging everywhere, but that's okay. You will get a hang of this on your own hair. Everybody's a little bit different. But you may be able to see as I do this how this doesn't curl quite the same as the rest of my hair. So I'm gonna do it the same way. Now that's long, it's getting harder and harder to do this. But you want a little bit of tension. Curl off the edge. I'm gonna grab this and I just shake it like this. And that should make the curls start to form. So we're gonna do the rest of this section and then we'll be blow drying. All right, so now that we have styled all of our hair, we are finally ready to blow dry almost. So the last two steps that I do before I blow dry is I'm gonna take this off. I gently turn my hair to the side, trying not to disturb all the work that you just did. And then grab and squish. And if you did it right, you should hear that noise because it's very wet. This helps all the product sort of distribute, and it helps all the little frizzy bits that didn't get into a curl. Find its curl pattern. And you'll notice that your hair has a very specific feeling after doing this. That's when you know you did it right. And this step is optional. If you don't do this step, you'll have a stronger cast, but it'll take you longer to dry your hair. I'm a bit impatient, so we're gonna do this step. Just cup it and squish. Don't agitate the hair. Take it to the other side. Same thing. Cup, squish. Trying not to agitate. You can see no frizz, all well defined. We are ready to blow dry. So for our blow drying portion, I use a Dyson for this. Honestly, I feel like this is a game changer. It has taken my hair drying from like an hour to like 15 minutes. So I would recommend it. You can't buy more time. I am going to diffuse on high heat, high speed. And I kind of keep it about this far for my hair as I do so, and I'll be flipping it from side to side. So I'll diffuse a little bit like this, then kind of doing this motion to the other side. Again, we're trying not to disturb the curls, like this. And basically that keeps your roots from drying flat to your head, which will allow you to have more volume at the end. So let's dry real fast, and then we will be back to talk about the final look. So now that we're all dry, I'm going to finish with some finishing oil. This is Innersense I Create Shine, and has become one of my new favorites. I'm just going to take about 1 dropper full. It's very liquidy, as you can see, and run it through my hair. This helps break up the gel cast. And you can see how as I'm doing it, it kind of fluffs up. That's what we want. Toss it to the side. It smells really good. It's got like sesame oil, macadamia oil, cranberry oil. It helps with UV protection. All that kind of stuff. We're gonna fluff out the root a little bit. And voila. So there you see it. Some nice curls, lots of body, lots of volume. Looking great.